Hi, my name is Victoria, and I'm going to tell you how easy it is to save money. We live in a world where nothing is cheap anymore, where rent costs more than a mortgage, having a nice car means that you have a loan and you have to finance, eating healthy costs more than fast food, and at almost $4 a gallon, gas is taking a huge portion of our paychecks. It seems like it's almost impossible to save money, but I've managed to put over $10,000 in my savings account in the last year and not touch a penny of it. How is it possible though to save money when our expenses are really expensive? It's actually easier than I thought, and I'll explain it. I sold my house a few years ago because it was a seller's market, and I ended up getting an offer that was more than what my house was worth and what I paid for it, so I'd be silly not to take it. But I didn't factor into consideration that now I'd have to move into a condo, pay condo fees, rent, and first, last, and security, which ended up costing me over $500 more than I was paying for my mortgage. I could swing it, but it took a huge portion of the money that I ended up making off of my house, so I got a second job. I'm a bartender, I make pretty good money, and it's all cash, but it's long nights and long hours. So I wasn't trying to work a daytime job and then a night job. Just wanted to do whatever I could in the night. But not everybody has the means and the time for a second job, so there's other ways of making money as a job. You could do DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats. Those are all really good ways, and you can basically base it on your schedule. Along with OnlyFans, if you decide you want to sell content, you can just make an account and you do get paid for that. I also decided to budget. Budgeting is a lot easier for people who can't work a second job because you get like a visual of what you spend per month, but it's also effective for people that work multiple jobs. It's as easy as taking a pen and writing down all of your expenses that you're expected to pay. I did mine by my weekly and monthly expenses, but it's whatever's easier for you. I started by writing everything that I spend, factoring in fuel, rent, groceries, phone bill, gym membership, any other subscriptions that I have, car payment, Wi-Fi cable, and my leisure money. The leisure money is, I allotted myself $20 a week, in order to spend on whatever I wanted to, and whatever I didn't spend of that $20 a week went directly back into my bank account, and I wouldn't touch it. The $20 I also never took out of my bank account. It was whatever I made in tips. I would just put $20 aside and say, this is what I'm spending for food or whatever I wanted to spend it on, clothes, anything. By making a budget list, you get a visual of what you're spending weekly and monthly, and it's just kind of a breakdown, so it'll show you like how much you have of play money and what you can put in your bank account. Another way I saved money is that I'm a huge coffee drinker, and I factored in that I was spending between $35 and $50 a week on Starbucks. So I decided to go to Starbucks, just buy the ground coffee and make it at home, and I'm saving between that $35 and $50 a week, just making my coffee at home and taking it with me to work. Another good way to save money in that aspect is to make your food at home. Meal prepping is a great way to save money. Even though it's a little extra work, you just have to buy the groceries, and a $35 meal that you would get off of DoorDash, you can spend that $35 and kind of stretch it to make it last a few days instead of just one meal. It does take a little time and effort to make it at home, but it does save you money in the long run. Piggy banks are also an effective way to save money, and at almost 30 years old, I have no shame in saying that I have a piggy bank. Any loose change at the bottom of my purse or that I find in the car or even on the street, I pick up, put it in my piggy bank. Any singles that I have at the end of the night in my wallet, I put it in my piggy bank. Usually at the end of the month when I open my piggy bank, it's between $50 and I've even had it to a couple $100 depending on how many singles I throw in there. So it's just extra money that's out of sight, out of mind at the end of the month. You just count it all up and put it in your bank account. Putting money, obviously, in your savings account is an effective way to save money if you're not going to touch it. I started putting a minimum of $20 a week in my savings account, and that's an extra $80+ a month depending on how much you're putting in, and over the course of a year, that's over $1,000. You can also declutter and sell things that you don't use. Apps like Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, OfferUp, Etsy. There's so many websites that you can post anything that you don't have at home, as well as anything that you make if you're a crafty person, and that's just an extra source of income as well. I ended up making about $5,000 in the last year selling my furniture, clothes that I don't wear, things that are just taking up space that I'm never gonna use. And kind of just threw that in my account and forgot about it. With this being said, it's easier to save money now. If you can budget your money, get another source of income, be creative and cut out certain expenses and stretch your money, save any loose change, any dollar bills, put money away into your savings account, and sell any of the belongings that are just collecting dust in your house. It adds up quicker than you think in a short amount of time. Thank you.